I'm finished my pitch placement in London and I'm back full-time at the Junction as Director of Operations and Planning, which involves working in a completely different environment now. I am a Cultural Leadership Programme Peach Placement. At the Royal Academy I'm doing organisational development for them. I've been here for 6 months, Peach Placement's just come to an end. And I'm seconded here from the Junction in Cambridge. I did some external research, which was basically going around the country, going to other cultural institutions and asking them how they approach workforce development, how they finance it, and kind of what the general feeling is across the sector about how we look after our staff and how we develop our talent and our leaders and such like. For me, rather controversially, you know, cultural leadership is something that it's very, very difficult to define. It's very difficult to box it because everybody's idea of culture is so different. Everybody's idea of a cultural leader is completely different. So for me, it's about leadership per se. It's not about tagging cultural onto it. And it's about, you know, how do you go into an organisation and lead them for the best possible, to the best possible outcome for them. Because it's going to be very, very different in the Icon Gallery than it is in Contact Theatre in Manchester. They're both cultural organisations, but they've got a completely different skill set, completely different objectives and completely different goals, different finances, different ways of being funded. You know, there's so many different ways. So, you know, it's actually about leadership skills, and it's all about, you know, being able to understand an organisation and taking a bit of time to step back, get some perspective and say, what does this organisation need from me and how can I best lead it, rather than, I think it should be done like this. When you're working within an organisation, particularly in the arts, it's highly emotional, it changes every single day, and it's a real kind of hand-to-mouth existence. Therefore, you sometimes don't take the time to really think something through. And you don't see the bigger picture. What the placement did for me was it allowed me to go into an organisation where I had one specific task, and that was looking at the organisation from a distance and getting a really good perspective on where it needed change, what things I could implement, what things I could recommend they implement, and it had a much more distanced feel about it. And there was time and space to plan and to think about things. So I guess what I'm trying really hard to bring back here is that idea that you have to step back from things sometimes.